Alright, welcome back to another training video today. We got lower body focused. We're going to be doing some jumps, some deceleration training. The program that I'm running right now is going to be my new vertical jump focused program that's going to be released on my subscription plan that you guys can follow along. So if you follow me on social media, go to the link in my bio. There's a subscription plan that follows my exact program that I do every single day, week, month, and that's just going to be a continuous rolling calendar of training. $39 a month, so it's about a little over $1 a day to get some dope training. But today what we're going to focus on, first thing we're doing is some banded pogos. We're going to be doing them like an alternating style just to get some reactive work in before we get into some depth drops that we do. The reason I'm using a band, not necessarily to make that jump any harder, but to try to just speed up the cadence of doing that. So if I'm putting in a high amount of effort in my jump and I don't have any bands, I'm going to be traveling higher in the air. I want that cadence to be quicker and be more reactive in a shorter period of time. So the bands will stop me from jumping so high, turn that momentum around and fire me back into the ground. There will be a little bit of extra force that I need to produce because I'm working against a little bit of resistance, but the main focus of the band is just to try to speed up that cadence versus doing it normal. So if I was doing these normal, it would be here. I don't want to spend that much time in the air. I want to be quicker off the ground. So I'm using bands here. Anchor them down however you need to. Feel that you got a good amount of tension at the bottom. So I usually wrap around my hands a couple times, set up my spot, and then I do anywhere between 12 to 16, 18 total reps. So you're looking at like 7, 8, 9, 10 reps on each side depending on what you want to do. And then you're just going to quickly bounce off the ground as high as you can. And there you go. So I'm going to do probably about 3 sets of that, and then we're going to get into some depth drop variations that we'll do next. Alright, second focus for today, we're going to be doing some deceleration work. A lot of times people will call this force absorption. It's not technically an accurate statement because you can't absorb force. You can store it for a very short period of time and then you got to release it. Otherwise, it just becomes deceleration work. So what we're going to be doing is depth drop variations. So standing on top of the box, dropping down and trying to catch our body weight and hold that position just to decelerate as quickly as possible. The reason this is going to be in my vertical jump program is those people who generally can jump the highest have the ability to change direction out of the bottom of their loading phase very, very quickly. So working on some deceleration work along with some ISOs and things that we did in our previous cycle, that's going to allow us to get down to the bottom of our jump position and explode out of it a lot faster. You'll see people who have to spend a lot of time in that load and it takes them some time to extend and get out of that loading phase. They don't generally jump the highest and they're not generally the fastest people. The ones that you see can kind of get down and explode out of that position the quickest are the ones that are going to be able to put a little bit more force into the ground, resulting in higher vertical jumps. This is the type of stuff that you can do that's going to help you with creating a little bit more power. So I like to do these prior to going into a phase where I'm going to be doing more bounding or depth jumps, which is what I'm going to be doing in the later phases of this program. So we're going to be working on that deceleration. We're going to be doing 4 sets, 5 reps on each side, and we're going to be landing in that split position. So what I've been doing this block on day 1 of my lower body workout for this week, I've been doing a depth drop and landing in an athletic position, working on both legs, going from a higher position. This one is going to be a little bit lower than what I did previously. And I'm going to be landing in a split position just to get a different range of motion, different stimulus than what I've done previous this week in my training. So we'll start on top of the box. This one is 75 meters. It's a shaky. But what I like to do is hang one foot off. Whatever foot is hanging off, that's going to go forward. This foot's going to go backwards. Stick the landing. 5 reps on one side, and then 5 reps onto the other. I think that was 5. I might have lost count a little bit. And that's going to be 7 more. A couple things with this real quick. I would start off of the low box, build some familiarity with the movement, get comfortable catching yourself in that deep position. What you want to try to do is stick that landing every single time. You don't want to have too high of a box where you're like landing and getting into a lunge and then bringing yourself back up. You want to be able to hit the floor, stop. That's going to put a quick stretch on the tendons. That's going to load those tendons up really well, get them prepared in later phases for more dynamic work. 3 more sets of this, and then we're going to get into our first main lift for the day. Alright, so we went from pogos to depth drops. Now we're going to get into some of our weighted movements. We're going to start off with a counter movement drum shrug using the trap bar. The reason I like the counter movement, especially paired with the depth drops, is we're getting down into that position. We're kind of overloading that bottom position, and then we're trying to explode out of it as quickly as possible. I was doing cleans on this day, but I want to get away from a little bit of doing the Olympic lifts. I have a lot of exposure to them, a lot of experience with them. I know how those work, so I'm trying out something that's going to be similar, possibly going to be able to load this up more than I would with a clean. There's a lot of debates about sports performance and the Olympic lifts. I'm not trying to say one thing is better than the other. I am more of a believer of if you can do it, then do it. So I can do the cleans, I've done them a lot. It's time for me to kind of shift focus, do some sort of new movement that hopefully is going to elicit some sort of new stimulus. So we're going to do a couple blocks of this jump shrug or some variations of it. The one we're going to do today, you're going to start at the top, drop down and explode out of that position, kind of overloading that bottom position and trying to get out of it, just like we were saying with the depth drops. Is those people who can kind of get down and out the quickest are going to be the ones that produce a lot more force quicker, allowing them to jump higher, run faster. So that's kind of the premise on what we're doing on here. So I'll do a little warm-up set. This is actually the first time I've done these in years. We did these a lot when I was in college because we didn't have a coach that believed in the Olympic lifts. So down and out as quick as possible. There you go. So 4 to 5 sets of 3 on this. We're going to load it up probably around 140. We'll move on to our second lift for the day. Alright, those felt exactly how I thought they were going to feel, which was awkward. I haven't done them for a while, so controlling that descent, trying to explode out of it, felt a little bit off. It'll get better over the weeks as we progress this a little bit. I'm hoping to build to somewhere around 180, 190 for sets of 2 to 3 on that. When I go that heavy, I think I'll put the boxes underneath it just so I don't have to like try to catch it and hold that. So I can stand up with it, do my shrug, and then just let the boxes catch the bar rather than me trying to catch it and hold on to it. 145 felt good today. So now we're gonna move on to trap bar deadlifts. Just basic strength movement here, 5 sets of 3. And I don't want it to be very taxing. I just want it to move nice and smooth. So probably like, if we were to put a number on it, intensity-wise, it's probably going to be like an RPE 8. If you've watched the video this far, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. These videos come out very randomly. Just depends on whenever I have time, whenever I've got the gym kind of to myself. That way I can control the music. I don't have to worry about getting in other people's way with the camera and stuff like that. So they randomly come out, and I appreciate you guys watching these. Move on to some rear foot elevated split squats, or Bulgarians, whatever you want to call them. 2 sets of 6 for my accessory work. Today I want to get a little bit more range of motion in, so with the jump shrugs and the trap bar deadlifts, we haven't really gotten to a deep hip flexion, so that's going to be the focus here for the rear foots. And then we're going to do a little bit of hamstring work because we got to even it out a little bit. So, good on those. So we'll hit a couple more sets of those, and then we'll move on to some Nordics. And these videos will come out just randomly whenever I got time to make some videos. So hopefully get some more sprint videos in there, get a little bit kind of like max out sessions that I have planned here in the next couple weeks. Try to get those on here so you guys can see, because it's all going to be stuff that's going to go into the subscription program, like I said at the beginning of the video. And then, yeah, we'll get after it. So, appreciate you guys. Have a good one. See you in the next video.